Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in the world on the 24th of July of 2026. Today we have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. And first let's talk about the conflict on the territory of Ukraine, where during the previous night between the 23rd and 24th of July of 2026, the Ukrainians once again attacked deep inside of the territory of Russia. And this is the first picture that was published by pro-Ukrainian sources, and according to this picture, at 10 p.m. of the 23rd of July, around 350 drones were reported. As you can see, the Ukrainians were attacking in the direction of the northern parts of Russia and in the direction of the southern regions. 2 hours later, pro-Ukrainian sources published updated map where we can see more arrows, and at 11 p.m. of the 23rd of July of 2026, 470 drones were recorded over the territory of Russia. Later, this information was also confirmed by the Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation this morning around at 8 a.m. of the Moscow's times. The Russians reported that during the night the Russians managed to destroy and to intercept 571 drones. So as of the morning of the 24th of July of 2026, we know for sure that the Ukrainians were attacking two cities. The first one is the city of St. Petersburg, and this is the approximate routes of attack of the armed forces of Ukraine between the 23rd and the 24th of July of 2026. At some moment, it seems that a batch of drones changed its direction and began moving in the eastern direction to the north of the city of Moscow, in the direction of the city by the name of Kirov. As for the city of Kirov, the Ukrainians attacked an object of military infrastructure. This facility was attacked by the Ukrainians, and probably the Ukrainians were attacking this facility either with missiles or with drones, and we have several videos published from this area. As you can see, according to these videos, this facility was damaged as of the morning of the 24th of July. It's unknown whether the Ukrainians managed to deal significant damage or this facility was just probably damaged and that's it. But as for the first batch of drones that continued moving further in the northern direction, we know for sure what exactly the Ukrainians attacked and what kind of damage the Ukrainians managed to deal. As for the city of St. Petersburg, first the Russians were successfully repelling the Ukrainian drones flying in the direction of the northern capital of the Russian Federation, and between 3 and 4 a.m. we were receiving a lot of videos how Russians were successfully intercepting the Ukrainian drones flying in the direction of the city of St. Petersburg. We have a lot of videos, but it seems that first the Ukrainians managed to break through first defense layer, and the Ukrainian drones continued moving further in the northern direction, and probably an hour later we start receiving first videos from suburbs or outskirts of the city of St. Petersburg, where we can see drones flying further in the northern direction. For example, in this video we can see 2 drones flying in the northern direction over the St. Petersburg agglomeration. Later we start receiving updates how the Russian air defense forces began working over the city of St. Petersburg, and you know that the Russians knew for sure what kind of objects the Ukrainians were planning to attack, so the Russians managed to reinforce these objects in advance. For example, in this video we can see how the Russians managed to destroy the Ukrainian drone right over the warehouse that was later destroyed with more drones of the armed forces of Ukraine. But it seems that the Russians haven't managed to concentrate enough of air defense systems with the purpose to successfully protect these objects of logistic infrastructure. And we also have a video where we can see the first successful strike from the Ukrainian side. Here we have the Ukrainian drone flying over the city of St. Petersburg. Here we have that this drone managed to approach this facility. Here we have the drone flying over this warehouse, but at some point the drone sharply changed its direction and attacked the roof of this facility. And this is the first successful strike carried out by the armed forces of Ukraine, and later this warehouse was reduced to ruins and destroyed completely. We have a lot of videos, as you can see on the map. Dozens of videos were added, hundreds of videos were ignored because they were showing the same things but from different angles. But let's take a look at the most important videos where we can see the consequences of attack, where we can see the results of attack, and where we can see that these two warehouses on the territory of the city of St. Petersburg were reduced to ruins and destroyed completely. So we see that the Ukrainians continue the logistic war. Obviously, there are thousands of warehouses on the territory of Russia, but the most important thing that since the beginning of this logistics war, the Ukrainians managed to damage or to destroy the biggest ones. So 10, the biggest warehouses on the territory of Russia were damaged or destroyed by the Ukrainian side. We have this analysis. Here we have this picture. As we discussed, the Ukrainians were attacking always the same company, and as for this company, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10 biggest warehouses of this company were either destroyed or damaged. So this is a very big damage that the Ukrainians managed to deal to the Russians, and most likely the Ukrainians will continue this process. And several hours later, and an hour before I started making this video, we start receiving reports that the Russians began attacking the city of Kyiv. Between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. of Moscow's times, the Russians attacked the city of Kyiv with at least 10 ballistic missiles. There were at least 6 Iskander missiles and 4 Zircon hypersonic missiles. Lots of explosions were recorded through the city of Kyiv, and as of the moment when I started making this video, there were no information about the consequences of attack, but due to the situation with the city of St. Petersburg and Kirov, and due to this unexpected attack during the daylight, we believe that the Russians were attacking something important, and they were trying to hit something important, probably even someone important. Furthermore, I would like to remind you that according to information we have these days, Zelensky met with Raytheon team with which Ukraine will produce missiles for Patriot. According to the President of Ukraine, the company confirmed its readiness to cooperate in the production of Patriot, and according to information we have, the team of this company arrived in Kyiv, maybe today, maybe yesterday, so who knows what exactly the Russians were attacking during the daily attack that took place between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. of July of 2026. Furthermore, the Russians during the previous night also attacked the territory of Ukraine, and according to information we have, the Russians used 185 means to attack the territory of Ukraine using drones and missiles. The Russians used drones, 180 drones, and the Ukrainians destroyed 160, and the Russians used 5 guided missiles, and the Ukrainians reported that they destroyed 4 of them. The sources reported that once again the Russians were attacking the city of Odessa. Lots of explosions were recorded during the night, and the Russians attacked the city of Zhytomyr. More precisely, the Russians attacked this oil base. As of this situation, during the night we received pictures from this area, and which means that most likely several oil tanks were badly damaged by Russians. But the overnight attack, of course, was very powerful from the Russian side. But of course, the most important thing, what exactly the Russians attacked today, this morning, right after the Ukrainians finished attacking St. Petersburg. It seems that the Russians were attacking something urgently and something very important. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation on the ground. During the previous 12 hours, we received a lot of very important updates, and these updates are coming from the Kharkiv direction. As you can see, the map has been adjusted significantly since the end of the 23rd of July of 2026, and these are the changes on the ground. This is the end of the 23rd, and this is the beginning of the 24th of July. The Russians this morning, right after the Ukrainians finished attacking the territory of Russia, reported that 2 villages were captured. First, the Russians reported that the village of Ivashchine was captured by Russians, and probably an hour later, the Russians reported that the village of Zakharovka was also captured by Russians. So according to these changes, we see that the Russians decided not to finish the battle for the city of Belakolodets. There are very heavy clashes right now. The Russians decided to continue moving further with the purpose to take under complete control the most northeastern parts of the Kharkiv region, and it seems that the front line in this area has collapsed completely. As you can see, the Russians are moving to the north over this the main defense layer, but it seems that in coming days, probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks, everything to the north of this red line would be captured by Russians. We are talking about this part of the Kharkiv region, and the Ukrainians would be forced to fall back. And then the Russians will enter the second stage of the battle for the northeastern parts of the Kharkiv region, and this is going to be the battle for the settlement by the name of Velykyi Burluk. If Ukrainians lose control over the settlement of Velykyi Burluk, this is going to be the end of the second phase, and then the Russians would continue moving further towards the settlement of Shevchenka. But the most important thing, we see that the pace of the Russian offensive operation in this area accelerates, which means that either the Russians have more troops or the Ukrainians have not so many troops, not enough of troops to stabilize the situation and to hold the lines. And if the things started developing so fast as we can see right now, this means that the situation can become much worse for the Ukrainian side in coming months. Now let's take a look at how the map has been adjusted, let's say, since the beginning of the 19th of July of 2026. And as you can see, the changes are very big, and the changes are in the Russian favor. And that's it for the short video. The Military Summary channel reminds we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for your watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye-bye.